She arrived ready for a confrontation, but Barack Obama simply wouldn't bite. He offered a gentle smile, waited patiently, and only then began to speak. In that quiet moment, an undeniable calm settled over the stage, and it never truly lifted again. The evening had begun like most televised debates do, polite smiles, cordial greetings, and the usual pleasantries about the honor of being there. But the calm felt temporary. Everyone watching could sense it. From the studio audience to viewers at home, there was tension in the air, a feeling that something bigger was about to unfold. The stage itself looked immaculate. Soft golden lights washed over the set, illuminating the table where Barack Obama and Ivanka Trump sat facing one another. Between them sat the moderator, a respected journalist known for keeping order even when conversations turned sharp. The topic for the evening sounded simple: leadership in modern America. But simple words can carry heavy meaning. Obama looked exactly as people remembered him: calm, composed, almost serene. His posture was relaxed, his smile gentle, his eyes steady with the quiet confidence of someone who had spent years navigating enormous pressure. He carried himself like a man who had nothing left to prove. Ivanka, in contrast, looked perfectly polished and confident. Her tone was smooth and deliberate, her posture poised. She moved with the assurance of someone who had prepared carefully and believed completely in what she was about to say. For her, this wasn't just another interview. It was a chance to defend her father's legacy. The moderator began with light conversation. Obama chuckled softly at a joke about how presidents seem to age faster in office. Ivanka smiled politely and added that her father often claimed the job energized him rather than exhausted him. The audience laughed politely. Everything felt relaxed, but underneath those smiles something else lingered. You could feel it in the tiny pauses, the way their eyes met just a second longer than necessary. There was history in that room. Rivalry. Pride. And two very different ideas about power. The moderator turned to Obama first. "Mr. President," he said, "you've often spoken about the importance of character in leadership. What does that mean to you?" Obama nodded thoughtfully before answering. "Character," he said calmly, "is revealed in what you do when no one is watching. It's how you treat people who can offer you nothing in return." A quiet murmur of agreement passed through the audience, then the moderator turned to Ivanka. "Miss Trump, you've often said your father taught you leadership through action. How would you describe his approach?" Her smile widened. "My father believes leadership is about results," she said confidently. "Not speeches. Not carefully chosen words. Real leadership means taking bold action, even when people don't understand your vision." Her words hung in the air like a challenge. Obama didn't react. He simply listened. The moderator leaned forward slightly. "So you're suggesting leadership is about action, even if people disagree?" "Exactly," Ivanka replied. "Some leaders spend their time talking about unity. My father believes in creating results." The implication was obvious. Obama smiled faintly but said nothing. Ivanka leaned back in her chair, confident she had made her point. Then came the sharper question. "Miss Trump," the moderator asked, "what do you believe is the biggest difference between your father's leadership and President Obama's?" Ivanka didn't hesitate. "My father leads from the front," she said. "He builds things. Some people build their legacy through speeches and memoirs. Others build it through action." The room reacted immediately. It wasn't just political. It was personal. All eyes turned to Obama. He didn't flinch. He simply tilted his head slightly and continued watching her. Ivanka took his silence as an opening. "It's easy to sound wise when you're no longer making the tough decisions," she added calmly. "My father doesn't have that luxury. He faces them every single day." The room went completely quiet. For a moment it felt like she had won. She sat there confident, smiling, waiting for a response. But Obama remained silent. He didn't interrupt. He didn't defend himself. He simply watched her calmly, his hands resting together on the table. The silence stretched longer than anyone expected, and suddenly that silence began to feel powerful. Finally Obama leaned forward slightly. "You mentioned results," he said gently. "And you're right. Results matter." Ivanka nodded, satisfied. "But what kind of results?" he continued. "A leader can build towers, open offices, generate profits. But if those results only serve a small group of people, is that leadership?" The audience stirred. Ivanka opened her mouth to respond, but Obama continued. "Real leadership isn't just about building structures. It's about building trust." Soft applause rippled across the room. Ivanka tried to recover. "People don't live off words," she said. "They live off results. My father created jobs. He built opportunity." Obama smiled calmly. "I think that's why people admire him," he said. Then he paused. "And sometimes, why they fear him." The line landed harder than anyone expected. Ivanka blinked, surprised. "I wouldn't say fear," she replied quickly. "I'd say respect." Obama nodded slowly. "Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference when power becomes the only goal." The audience murmured again. For the first time Ivanka looked slightly unsettled. The moderator tried to redirect the discussion. "Let's talk about personal values," he said. "How does family shape leadership?" Ivanka answered immediately. "Family is everything. My father is deeply loyal to his family. That loyalty shapes every decision he makes." Obama listened quietly. Then he spoke again. "Family is important," he said softly. "It shapes who we are." Ivanka nodded. "Exactly." Obama looked at her for a moment. Then he asked a question so calmly it almost sounded casual. "Baron is your son?" The room froze. Ivanka blinked, confused. "Excuse me?" Obama didn't repeat the question. He simply watched her. She laughed awkwardly. "No," she said quickly. "Baron is my brother." Obama nodded. "Of course," he replied gently. "I was just wondering where the shield of family begins, and where it ends." The audience fell completely silent. Ivanka tried to respond, but the words wouldn't come easily. Obama wasn't attacking her. He was asking questions, and questions delivered calmly can be more powerful than accusations. "I respect loyalty," Obama said softly. "But when loyalty replaces truth, it becomes something else." Ivanka's composure began to crack. "I'm not sure what you're implying," she replied. "I'm not implying anything," Obama said. "Just observing." The silence grew heavy again. Finally Ivanka tried one last defense. "My father loves his family," she said firmly. "And I will never apologize for that." Obama nodded. "Love is never something to apologize for," he said. Then he paused. "But sometimes love makes people blind." The room fell completely still. 31 seconds passed. No one spoke. No applause. No debate. Just silence. And in that silence the balance of the conversation shifted entirely. Ivanka sat there searching for words that wouldn't come. Obama simply waited. Finally she spoke softly. "Everyone has their own definition of leadership." Obama smiled. "That's true," he said. "But only one of them stands the test of time." The audience began to clap slowly, then louder. Ivanka forced a polite smile, but she didn't argue anymore because sometimes silence says more than any argument ever could. When the applause faded the room felt different. Obama hadn't raised his voice once. He hadn't insulted her, yet somehow he had taken complete control of the conversation. Ivanka gathered her papers and stood. "I think I've said everything I needed to say," she said politely. The moderator looked surprised. "Leaving us already?" "I have another engagement," she replied. Everyone knew it wasn't true. Obama simply nodded. Thank you for your thoughts, he said calmly. She gave a small nod back and walked off stage, her heels echoing across the floor. The room watched her go, not with anger but with quiet understanding that something important had just happened. The moderator turned back to Obama. Well, he said nervously, that was quite a conversation. Obama chuckled softly. Sometimes conversations tell us more than we expect. Then Obama added one final thought. Leadership isn't about having the loudest voice. It's about asking the questions that make people think. The audience applauded again, not loudly but respectfully. Because what they had just witnessed wasn't a shouting match. It was something rarer. A demonstration of calm power. A reminder that real strength doesn't always come from dominance. Sometimes it comes from dignity.